Okay. So this is a panel that now you will see the graphic pretty soon about network states, DAOs, and Popup Cities. We have great representatives for all these words. I'm gonna leave the words to you guys. I don't know who wants to start. Raise your hands, everybody. No one? You don't want to start? You start. You start. Lorenzo, I called you before, so you start. Okay.
Okay. What should I say about?
You can start saying about what is Akash Hubs and.
Okay. So yeah, I suppose half of you already knows Akash Hub, maybe. Oh wow. Okay, that I didn't. Wow, pretty impressive. Akasha Hub, as you know, is a space in Barcelona, a community. It's a way of living, maybe, of sharing resources and doing projects together. We have co-working, we have Fab Lab, we are running projects. We do events and workshops and classes, all together, all done by the community and paid by the community. We have 2 warehouses in Barcelona, and it's been running since 2017. And now we are moving on to the next step, but I pass you the...
Thank you. I'm here for the Commons-hub, which is a place in Lower Austria, in the mountains, right where the Viennese plains end and the Alps start. So it's about 1 hour south of Vienna. We've been doing stuff there since 2020, but really since this year we're doing it professionally. So it means a lot of hosting groups and events. We have 30 beds, 2 big event halls, and host conferences for up to 80 people. That's what we've currently been doing. So we are self-funded and reached financial sustainability this year, I'd say. But the longer term goal is to on one hand go beyond that in terms of building an event campus. We're currently trying to buy a church and incorporate that into our event campus. And then the long-term goal is to go towards a Valley of the Commons, find out how that would look like. So a valley or a village that hosts mostly internationals, digital nomads, is also somewhat interacting with locals. Our village has been dying out for decades, but there's still many people left, and we don't want to antagonize them, but rather build bridges. And then also how to use this valley to experiment with and promote the values of the commons and build actually working prototypes around commons.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Kris Miller from VDAO. We're an international network that's focused on building resilience for individuals and local communities. And we do that by focusing on infrastructure, energy infrastructure, water infrastructure, and food infrastructure, specifically for emerging network states. We've got people from across the world in our community, and we've built a kind of, at the core of VDAO is a kind of peer-to-peer learning network where we share knowledge about resilience and local sovereignty.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Fattybuthappy. I form part of Nous. Glad to be with these guys that are focused on interesting things in the world. And we are more into vibe stuff. People can determine nouns in their own way. Personally, I say that we're the cultural layer of Ethereum, like making crypto fun for people that are not very technical and are more interested in arts or doing good in some sense, in the little dent in the world, since I think we can all agree that it's a positive impact and we need it. And yeah, that's what I would say about nouns.
I think that most of the people know me, but I'm the rooster with the angry face. So yeah, that's it. No, no, I'm Cryptogallo, the community manager and the event manager of the Urbe.it community, and also run the Urbe Hub, where we are here right now.
Thank you guys for these amazing presentations. So I would like to ask to all of you, I mean, we have three main keywords in this panel, right? DAOs, network states, and pop-up cities or village or whatever, call it how you like. We can add maybe also the concept of hubs, I would say. So I don't know if everybody here is very clear what means a DAO, what means a network state, what means a pop-up city, what means an hub, and why is that for good? I think it's important to explain that. So, short, who wants to start with pop-up? No, network states, maybe? Kris, or what about? Are you? Felix?
I'm wondering whether we really want to start with network states, because that's gonna get contentious and might eat up all the available time. But well, okay, I take issue with the network state. We talked about it yesterday. That was some people from the Hubs network talked about the differences in approach of network state. So Balaji's camp with the network school and so on, like immediately going for the grand goal of diplomatic recognition, full sovereignty, and so on. Whereas let's say the counter proposal that was around a couple of years ago was network societies, which is more bottom up, more of a bottom up approach. And we figured that what we are currently trying to do is establish some common ground or see where we have shared values, shared practices, could develop shared tools, and basically build our network of hubs from actually meaningful links between the different nodes that are the hubs. And then in the morning I had this thought that actually we're probably building pretty much the same, just from different directions. And yeah, the question is it mutually exclusive? Is one gonna succeed where the other is gonna fail, or are we gonna meet in the middle?
Okay. Someone else wants to add anything else on this topic? And why is that for good? I mean, also with your lens, with your projects, maybe you can explain better that. You want to close on this?
Doesn't have to be for good. It can be.
Okay. Maybe. Kris, for bad? We are bad guys here? No. I think we are all good guys. Kris, maybe you want to add something else on this topic?
Yeah. I would say that the angle that I come at this from is less about good and bad. It's more about like, how do we respond to change at this time in history? And the pace of change is accelerating all the time. And so I would say a healthy response to change is to build resilience and build sovereignty, which I view as a kind of in alignment with like autonomy, self-sovereignty. And that's at the core of the crypto ethos, the kind of original Bitcoin cypherpunk ethos is self-custody. That's why the crypto ecosystem that was the foundation of the ecosystem. And I believe we can apply those same principles and values to other systems, not just finance. And I think that's a healthy response to change. Build self-sovereignty at a local level, at an individual level, and build resilience, because it's good for yourself and the local community.
I totally agree, and I think, this is one of the only reason why I'm here today, because I didn't make any money trading Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, but you're right. The original ethos of I think not just Bitcoin, all the crypto punks or the cypherpunk philosophy. But well, I don't want to go too much on the philosophical layer, because I may say something that is not clear and it's a bit debating on this. But Lorenzo, you are from Akasha Hubs, right? So I think it's somehow related what they are saying, or is different, or how will you describe what do you mean for hubs, and how this can be a good thing for civil society, maybe for people, for common people?
Yeah, okay. I will start first with the topic actually you mentioned before, the value proposal of all these movements, cyberpunks, cypher, solarpunks. Bitcoin has born and Ethereum has born and in an environment, and many other projects, in an environment where the main focus is value proposition in society and fighting against something that is not working properly in society and making unfair situation, creating unfair situation, and building this together in a collaborative way in a new paradigm of collaboration in a global scale means a lot. Means a lot to bring a new technology to substitute something that we think is not working properly as a centralized services. And all these movement generate some values also in the way we can contribute in society in local situations. So many examples we had through times, and many experiments we had through Commons-hub, a very beautiful project in which is Liminal Village as well. Many other projects, TDF, they are all working on bringing all this knowledge and value proposition into the local ecosystem and in the local community, in trying to figure out a way to collaborate, to have identity, to have privacy or not privacy, or transparency, collaboration. All these values are raised and brought in small groups of people, and they are experiments of some kind of network state, or I would say network society we want to build. Also Popup City are run there. It's still an early phase. I think we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to learn from all have been thought and written and studied about in the last decades and centuries, actually. And it's actually an effort of many fields, merging all the knowledge in many fields and experimenting in the local situation. We are now... it's not working properly yet, but there are many situations that are providing us a good example of initiative that inspire us on building something more. And new projects, very interesting projects are coming from the web, and many interesting projects are already on the local tissue, societal tissue. So it's a moment where we can actually bridge them with different languages, different technology. It's not easy, but I think that has to be done with respect of what's been done and what we can achieve. And this positivity and this mindset of a willingness to change society in a coherent way, possibly.
Amazing. I mean, I subscribe to everything you said, and I really like your honest stance, saying that, of course, it's very experimental, right? Till today, of course, building on decades of and centuries, are you right, of great thinkers and projects. I really like also this kind of global approach, right? When you explain like this, I would say global and phygital at the same time. So from the digital global, the centralized blockchain Web3 world to the physical local hub or village, or that's great, that's amazing. And of course it's not, as you said, easy, but I think it's going. And Cryptogallo, we are in a village today, right? We are in a pop-up city, Urbe pop-up village. So I think it's where we are right now, right? It's happening in this moment. It's happening with us. and thanks to Urbe as well. So what do you want to add on this?
No, I want to add like when I first heard about network states, this kind of stuff. The first reaction for me, that is like the classic reaction that I have for everything, is that, oh, this is another bullshit. But after this first reaction, I say, okay, let's try to deep dive. And the best way to understand the network states and how the hubs and villages and these communities can be integrated in that is understanding that we are not defined by boundaries. Actually, no, we are defined by boundaries. It's a way, like I'm Italian, I'm a Roman, I live inside the Roman walls, so it's a definition of myself, and I can build up my personality on that. But it's not the only definition of that, of my personality. The definition of my personality is also driven by values, and this is not only that, this is not something that you can put inside the boundaries, okay? So this is why I think that network states and the network societies brings up. So also with the possibility to have fast and instant connections with all the world, we have the possibility to share values and with all the world, with all the people around the world. So it makes completely sense. What is the role of the hubs and the communities inside this is that we have to bring on the ground what we do online, okay? Because if not, it makes not, we are human beings. We have to collaborate, we have to create inside, and online is funny, we can chat and we can meet call or something like that, but it's actually way more funny to do it on site. So I think that the mix of values, the possibility to create all these network societies, and the possibility to bring on the ground these values with hubs and villages and pop-up cities and all the events that we do, I think that is the way that we have to go to really create this network society. Because if not, I think it's if it remains online, it's not a real network. It's not a real network of people. So I think that all this is like the idea that I had in my mind about this kind of things. And so it's not a bullshit. Actually, it's really, really incredible. And also I want to add that, like, we are not here because the Italian government or the city of Rome gave us this place. You're renting it. We are here because the network of all the people around the world of Web3 gave us the trust, also money, thanks, but most of that trust to build these things in Rome. So the network state and the network that we are part of believed in us and believed in the possibility to create something in Rome. And this is interesting because we have no relationship with institutions here, or maybe not so well relationship. And so, yeah, the network, the online network can also create something real on site and can inspire other people. And this is fantastic, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's, again, what you are doing here with the Urbe Hub, with the Urbe Village, thanks to Akasha also as well. I mean, this convergence, this is another keyword of today, I will say convergence. But I want to hear more from Fadi and then from Felix, because we were saying that we have this sort of like from digital to physical, from physical to digital, global, local, global. I think Nouns from one side and Commons-hub, they are going toward the same direction, but starting from like opposite parts, kind of. I see, that's my personal view. Commons-hub is very physical, very local, but it's spread all around the world, right? That's the vision. Nouns DAO, it's very global, dematerialized, digital, but it's doing like very great, as you explained before, activities and impact on local places. So you can I mean, what you would like to add on this, Fedi, and then Felix? I mean, why your projects, or well, you are in the governance, in case of Commons, you are the founder. So why this is your approach, and what kind of challenges or what kind of opportunities you see in this approach? You can start, Fatty.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, we started digital, and now these 32 by 32 pixel art are having impact IRL, as they say, in local communities all around the world. That's mainly because how we were built, and I would connect it to one of the three keywords, which is DAO, which I think is the organizational layer all over the blockchain, which mainly we think about it as a big thing, but a DAO can be also a small thing. We can have a DAO right here, or even in your local community, or like or in your building, like let's water the plants, and the medium to organize funds and allocation of those funds, it can run through a transparent way, which is the built on the technology of blockchain, which I would say, yeah, it's the medium of organizing digitally. Then for what it's being done, that's entirely of how the organization, or DAO in this case, self organizes, what they decide it's important for them, for the individuals being part of that community or that DAO, and what they spend their time and efforts to foster in whatever topic they want. So yeah, in the case of Nouns, we didn't have a topic per se, so we went the other route, in the sense like we didn't focus just in one thing, which in my mind creates something magical, that people that join Nouns bring whatever topic they have important for them. If it's puppies, schools, whatever topic, code, art, you can find a space and add Nouns on top of it, like not just for that, because then there are also DAOs just for skaters or just for esports gamers, now focused on a specific niche of the world. But at the end of the organizational layer of the DAO, that's the thing that I think the technology that brings us all here now in crypto, and these values that you mentioned before, now the cypherpunks values, and the more ownership of your ideas and projects or stuff you want to build.
I think the agnosticism to the topic itself is something that we have in common, definitely, at least to some degree, right? Usually, so we have to pay our bills, we don't have sponsors, and we don't have external capital so far. So we need revenue right from the start, and that means we host also groups and projects that are not fully value aligned, let's say, or just doing stuff that is nice but not necessarily extremely interesting for what we actually want to do. But so that there's that somewhat agnosticism, and also just the material need to have revenue, especially in the first year. But so this the general agnosticism to projects that somewhat share the will to do good in some, be it a digital global realm, or a very specific, do something good in my university or in my school or in my little town. I guess that is something that is shared. We do come from completely different levels in a way, very local, very global. But I think that a hub or hubs themselves are a meeting point of these different spheres in a way. A hub is always local, as it is, or at least place-based hubs, right? They have their physical locality, their immediate surroundings, but at the same time, they also are a link of that locality to to ideas which are generally more global and travel faster than people. But also hubs, or the hubs that we are talking about, are usually a physical bridge to digital tools. On the whole hub topic, I remember something that you said to me at 2 or 3 at night in the hot tub, and I was a bit too stoned to answer back then. But it was beautiful, which was that, I will try to repeat it now that I'm more sober. In a way, what we are building is an infrastructure to educate people in matters that are relevant for a positive future. And that is what this network, or this emerging network of hubs, what each of these hubs in a way carries in themselves already, and what we're now trying to bring to the fore, maybe in a more coherent, more structured way. And I think that is something where the whole digital realm and then this whole new sphere that we are sharing in also has a huge impact on, and is what we're loosely building towards. Like, we all see the old world failing worse and worse every day and just breaking apart without the new world yet being there. And this is where monsters live. And we're facing these monsters every day, but we're also growing stronger in our sense of what there is to be done.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it feels like a resistance movement, like a reaction in a positive way to, right, what's also happening to our society. But okay, let's not be too much political, because today otherwise I want to stay more on the concrete things. And Kris, I think with VDAO you share, and you're trying to touch both points, right? The global digital, the local physical, and it's very interesting because you were talking with me about this anti-fragile network state concept. Can you tell us more about that, like, and more in general about VDAO, if you want?
Sure. So within VDAO, we don't believe that there'll just be like one network state. We're not trying to build just one like global network state. We believe in creating the conditions for anti-fragile network states to emerge. And what we mean by anti-fragile network states is autonomous hubs all around the world that actually gain from the disorder and chaos that's increasing in the world. And fundamental within each of these hubs are systems that can support the people that live there, you know, like food systems, water systems, and energy systems. So we're really talking about the base layer of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's what we're really focused on. We're like, how do you meet the needs of the people that are living in these local areas around the world? And the DAO itself is really a Schelling point. Like, it's a meeting point internationally of all these groups, and it's a locus where people can come together to learn about how to integrate these systems. And that can be as simple as like an individual in a local area that wants to install solar on their roof, or install a rainwater harvesting system, or build like a mini food forest in their garden. It can be something as simple as that. That's like a first step. But then the next step is like, okay, I'm now more resilient. How can I become even more resilient? I need interdependence within my local community. I need to find networks in the area and build these relationships that can improve not just my resilience, but my local resilience. And then, so it's like going from there, the individual to the local community, and then using the DAO to come together in an international way. And final thing I'll say is, like, at the heart of that is like peer-to-peer learning, because everyone that goes through the process of becoming more resilient is building some knowledge and experience that they can then share, not necessarily in a formal way, just like, and within VDAO we host a lot of online kind of meetups and where people come together and talk about what they've done to become more resilient and share that knowledge with others in the community.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's goes back to what Matteo was saying, right, about decentralized knowledge, the power of it, and why it's important for us, why it's good, basically, decentralized knowledge. I totally agree. I will maybe, I don't know if you want to add anything specifically about this topic or about your specific projects. You can now, or maybe we can open to some questions for the public before going lunch.
I would just like to say, like on the debate of local through global, there is not one that is the best. I think it's a combination that has, like, if you take something from this, like learnings of different approaches from different experiments, it's a combination, not just focusing on local without like ignoring the global, and not just focusing on global with ignoring the local. No, a combination of it definitely sums more and pushes the humanity forward, in my opinion, because that's how we advance. No, trying to collaborate sums more than the individual parts that apport or give to the whatever goal you're building. Yeah, collaboration is the best thing. So always be open to it.
Just a closing note on my side. I would like to invite everybody, if you are interested in hubs and local impacts and how we can connect to each other, how we can do more things. I would like to invite you on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? 5 p.m., right? The 14th. We'll be here as well, talking about this coalition of spaces that we are trying to help each other and figure out which way we can actually improve our way of impacting the local through shared knowledge and tools. So this project is called Hubs Network, and we are just starting with a few hubs also around. If you want to come, you are more than welcome.
Thank you.
Well,
Someone with some questions? Yes. Oh my God, so many questions. All right. Questo qua e questo. Okay. Okay. You're closer, so okay. Let's go.
I'm aware we said no political things, but I think that things are political now and has to be. I don't think that Balaji's experiment as this sort of physical state will maybe it will last. It will last because it becomes useful to some other partnering countries. So if a network state creates wealth for its commercial partners or becomes a tax-exempt paradise, something like that, then maybe we will have network states. But I like Felix's idea of talking about network societies more. So we have this international system right now that is failing because UN decisions are not followed by anyone. So recognition or non-recognition is up in the air. And sadly, what our minister, Tajani, said, that international law works sometimes, is actually true, because it's a mare magnum, is a piracy, everyone does what it pleases. So states having one thing, and they have the use of force against us and against communities that emerge. What is the piece of civil law or international law that you would say we can build on to, and it also can be human rights declaration, etc., that you can build on to foster network societies at a recognition level? Is it property? Is it tokenization of property? Like sometimes, when you want to avoid a big corporation from owning a land, you fractionalize every square meter, you sell it to the residents so that they have to go through 1,000 different trials with each single owner. So this is a way that, so what is the piece of law that we currently have to build network societies? Or are we talking like we don't care about the fiat system, we don't care about traditional law systems? What's your take?
Yeah, from my perspective, the process of building network states it's an iterative process that is going to take many years. And from a lot of the critiques of the network state concept, I think that particularly this concept of exit, I think that's the number one criticism of network states, that this is an exit from the social contract by essentially wealthy elites, and therefore it's bad. And for me, the concept of exit is the most important concept at this moment in history, because there are a lot of signs that the status quo and states in the current form may not be able to sustain in their current form into the future. And so we face a potential where we can end up in a more totalitarian kind of situation, or in a full-blown kind of chaotic collapse situation. And I think in that future, questions around like law and so forth in terms of relationships with the existing state become less important than questions like, okay, what, like resilience, and that's the angle that I come at this question from. So I think exit is a good thing. I don't think it just has to be for the wealthy elites. I think it can be for everyone if we create the robust kind of tools, infrastructure, and collective will to make that leap. And it will. And the final thing I'll add, in Balaji's original concept around this, like he's talking about diplomatic recognition as a not necessarily as something that states would want to give, but it's because of the scale and they don't have any choice at that stage, and that may seem only possible in the dreams of wealthy elites, but I take a different view on that.
I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree that anyone but super wealthy elites will ever be able to gain diplomatic recognition and full sovereignty for their network states, which will be tax havens, of course. And this is the very reason they will get this recognition. It's quite possible that they will. I mean, they're already doing this with special economic zones and whatnot, and all the tax havens that exist in the world. And why not create new ones if it's okay to just bomb Gaza to shit and push out all the population and build your tax haven there? Why not do it somewhere else? But I seriously doubt, and I just call it completely impossible, to get that on a mass basis for people that are not super wealthy and thus cannot offer these benefits for decision makers in states. So I think that for the non-well-off, we will have to continue dealing with failing states. And they are more and more failing in their core functions. But we will have to find ways to deal with that. And I've thought about it plenty. I've thought about the problem of legal violence that the monopoly on legal violence the state still holds. And I've never come to any other conclusion than to stay out of their way as far as possible, because we're not and we cannot meet organized armies at all. Like any path there, even if the state is failing, is completely futile and dangerous. So that's how far I got, is as far as anyhow possible, build your little islands of resilience. Agreed. Absolutely, and food, water, and electricity is what I'm thinking about for the value of the commons as the first goal. Absolutely, but real sovereignty from the acclaimed monopoly on the legal force use of violence, I don't see that anywhere within reach. And lastly, on the question on what laws, I think at least for the time being, and for the hubs and for this decade, freedom of movement in the European Union is by far the most important law.
Amazing. Do you want to add anything else, or we have another question? Otherwise, yeah, we go with you, Lorenzo. No, okay.
Thank you, guys, for the panel. I have two questions, really. the second one, maybe it's easier than the first one. So you have mentioned like sustainability in terms of how this can be run in the long run. So maybe some of you have already some sustainability plans in place. The thing is that these things should run like autonomously without always the need of relying on external sponsors like Layer 2's Ethereum Foundation and so on. So what are your plans on that? And also because each of you are running different things, so I'm curious about the differences and so on. The second question is related to the Balaji's work. Basically, you were mentioning this in the last answer, but is it just utopistic? How do you think it? What is the like concrete part that you think, okay, this thing is achievable? Let's say, because you guys are running it, maybe based on some of the things that he was saying some years ago. I'm trying to say the difference between just the theoretical part and the practice. But again, it was basically related to what you guys was just saying. So if you want to elaborate more on that.
What was the first question? There is not, no. I think that sustainability is, I don't know. You can see in different ways. Like hubs, running apps, like co-working space. I think it's not sustainable also for big companies like Talent Garden that we have here in Italy. Actually, it's not. They are running out of money and they are failing the company. How they succeeded like this until now, they have done rounds and rounds of fundraising. So the thing is like that. If you put values before the money is the money is not something that you can reach easily, and also if you put values, you also restrict your boundaries of people that can come inside, because of course they have to share the same value. So of course we have to reach sustainability, but I think that in the first years of running a hub, running a co-working space, running a community and everything, there should be, and there is actually the sustain of the ecosystem that wants that to happen. Because if not, there is no reason to do that. So yeah, I think that the sustainability has to come slowly in years, because they are long-lasting projects. And of course, if there is not the sustain of the ecosystem and everything, means that the project is not valuable, or maybe it's not valuable for the ecosystem. And that is okay. That is not a problem. So yeah, I think that it's a goal that we have to reach, but it's not the first goal that we have to put, because if not, we don't even reach that goal, because it's very, very sophisticated and particular the things that we do. Because if I want to do like a co-working hub and all around Italy, I will do the same things that Talent Garden has done, and that's a commercial thing. So it's a completely different. And yes, we have to go to it.
We have a last question. Then you want to elaborate more on what he asked, maybe, or we can just quick. We are hungry.
Quick answer. I already said we are somewhat sustainable ourselves, which can only be because me and my brother own the building. So we don't have to pay rent in the first years, and I agree, you cannot be sustainable right out of the box. You need some sort of sponsorship, be it a landowner that gives you the space, or a layer 1 or 2 that supports you in the first years. Absolutely agreed. It's just that the long term has to be financial sustainability by producing value that can be exchanged for money. And I would also say on sponsorship, like we want to see 1,000 hubs or something even more. The first 10 are going to get a lot of sponsorship. The next 100 are going to get some sponsorship. and then it's not a new thing anymore, not so shiny, and it's going to be less and less easy to get sponsorships for these new hubs. So either they, out of the box, are somewhat sustainable, or it becomes a business model that can take loans or like investments properly, or we have a network that helps set up new spaces.
Yeah, on the other side, we also see that the first hubs are the ones that had to reinvent everything and figure out a way to run and to get resources and to manage people, volunteering, all the structure, infrastructure. The new model has to be done, so the first hubs has to work a lot, and then it gets more easy as well. So possibly we are going to be less dependent on the funding, external funding, and we can figure out a business model for each space, and probably sharing experience. It means a lot. I think the way to go is hybrid.
True.
If a company has money to invest in you, why you're not the company then? So let's be a company to invest their money into the hub, possibly. We are a value-first initiative that can redirect all the gain into reinvest it in the community and the space. Possibly it's going to be that direction. At least that's my aim.
You want to reply, or we have a last question? Is just a yes or no type of question. So very concise.
So great projects, really cool. And I think the big problem is educating the young people. So I just wondered if you have in your strategy to work with governments to educate young children, for example, and to work with universities. Are you creating like learn to earn, or are you doing something to advertise to teach people how good what you're doing, what the things that you're doing? Because there's probably millions of people that would love to join, but they don't even know. How do you connect?
I think we are lucky.
A bit more the yes or no, I guess. But yeah, let's give it short.
Yes, do both. We are lucky on funding to get those initiatives, and actually the communication can be done much more efficiently. We are not mainly we are not connecting much with the exterior world. It's like a bubble, so we are talking to each other, and what we have to learn is to be able to communicate outside and be seen from outside, and understand what you have to show out in order to be understood.
We host a lot of students, their university classes. We try to, they have their own program usually, but then we do have some influence by showing them what we do. Usually I ask them at the first day if it's okay to speak like 5 minutes to them to pitch what we're doing. And I was just thinking our Virgin Hubs network, we talked about potentially going for EU funding, which needs several actors and needs a certain scope to be recognized as such. But this could actually be something to pitch to EU bodies, actually producing content. Let's talk about that over lunch.
Yeah,
I think yes. All right, nice
about
question. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Lorenzo, Felix, Kris, Fatty, Cryptogallo.
Thank you, Urbe, to host us.
Yes.